It is Victory Monday for your Arizona Cardinals. Let's talk about the game.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast with Kelly Singh.
Murray heaves it downfield. It's caught. It is caught. DeAndre Hopkins. Miraculous. It's Murray magic.
The sickest Arizona Cardinals podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Welcome to the sickest Arizona Cardinals podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Singh, and this morning it is a sweet Victory Monday. Can you believe that your Arizona Cardinals are now number one? Number one. Everybody counted us out, and shoot, I feel like there were times where I was even doubting. However, going back into the analogs, I had predicted 9 wins for the Cardinals this season. I even got a little spicy on another podcast and said 11 potential wins. I don't know if that's a lofty goal, but I really do like the 9 wins for our Cardinals. And I like that the playoffs are in reach, you guys. What is happening right now? Let's break it down just a little bit. If we look at the schedule, there was a loss to the Bills, then we beat the Rams, lost to the Lions, lost to the Commanders, won to the 49ers, lost to the Packers, won against the Chargers, won again this week against the Dolphins. Now, here's the thing. We play at home at State Farm Stadium on Sunday, November 3rd against the Chicago Bears. I think we can beat the Chicago Bears. You know what else? November 3rd happens to be my birthday. So it's a very sacred, special day. And I would love for us to come away with a win on my birthday, a 3rd win in a row. What? Can it be done? I think it can be done. Let me know what you think. Give me a shout at Kelly in Phoenix on the app formerly known as Twitter. And be sure to give the podcast a follow. There is a channel there that spits out every time we have a new episode. It's at Sick Pod Kelly. That's Kelly with a Y. Nothing special about that, but there is something special about me. And I'm here to tell you on my birthday, the Chicago Bears are going down and the Cardinals are going to continue to rocket up the ladder. Friend of the podcast and Cardinals beat reporter Donnie Druin has some amazing articles out today at si.com/NFL/Cardinals. Make sure you take a look. You could also follow him at Donnie Druin. But he wraps up some of the big takeaways from Sunday's game. And it was so interesting to see that the Cardinals never once held the lead during this game until that last field goal, which took us with the walk-off win. How sweet does that feel? 28-27 over the Miami Dolphins, who had their team healthy. Tua back in place as quarterback. Tyreek Hill telling everybody, take me off your benches. Let's go. We're here. We're ready. I think the biggest excitement of the game was when Tua slid instead of going headfirst into his opponent. I know his team was grateful for that. However, it didn't help because we had secret weapons ready to go in the form of a field goal. 3 points, y'all, to win by 1. Now, Arizona is 4-4 on the season. There are 2 games remaining before the bye in week 11. I know my fantasy team is not excited about that because I did stock up quite a bit on Arizona Cardinals players, and that's okay. Call me a homer, but I knew we were going to have some great connections, and sure enough, we did. These wins that we walked away with have been all thanks to game-winning field goals. What does that say about our offense? I'm not sure. What does that say about our defense? I think it says that our defense is holding back the opponent enough to allow us that opportunity to kick those field goals. So there's that. If we look back on last season in 2023, there was a total change in leadership across the board with the Arizona Cardinals. And they were a young team. They were in rebuilding mode. We obviously hadn't gone through the draft where we picked up Marvin Harrison Jr., where we picked up many of these amazing rookies. But here's what we did have: a young team that was competitive. And even though they only saw 4 wins last season, those losses were competitive losses. They weren't blowouts. So we had a feeling going into this 2024 season that it was going to be a good one. And sure enough, it has lived up to at least my expectations, hopefully your expectations as well. It has lived up to that hype. And I don't even think it's hype. It's just been exciting to see these young guys come together, gelling, working so hard, doing the best they can. Shout out to Dante Stills. He won my heart over at the draft event that was held at State Farm Stadium on the Great Lawn. We took the cutest little photo together, and he gave me a little sound bite.
Dante, what are you looking forward to most about the upcoming season?
Winning games.
Winning games, is that
Sure.
about it?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, good, I love it.
Dante Stills out there just working as hard as he can. We've got Mac Wilson out there doing what he does best on defense. I happen to be playing him in a fantasy league, which allows for individual defensive players. Mac Wilson has been bringing in just as many fantasy points as Bosa, as Max Crosby. So overlooked, but worth it. And I think people are starting to take notice now, don't you? Speaking of defense, Donnie makes a great point in his article. There was a moment where the Cardinals were down by 10 in the third quarter. Miami could have pushed past the 2-touchdown advantage, and that could have been a hole that we could not have gotten out of. But the team held strong. Donnie says, quote, "They fought back and crawled their way to a win. Both sides of the ball held up their end of the bargain when clutch time arrived." Couldn't have said it better. Both sides of the ball, offense and defense, came in clutch when it mattered most. And when we look at some of the losses that we've had this season, the Cardinals lost a close game to the Bills and a close game to Detroit without like that crazy call that we had in the Lions game. Theoretically, the Cardinals could be 6-2. Donnie brings up in his article. Theoretically, yes, because those were very close games and one with a very controversial call. So it's not as if they were that was a total blowout against the Lions or a total blowout against the Bills. Speaking of teams like Lions, Bills, 49ers, Dolphins, these are big time teams that we're playing against. And these wins that we have squeezed out against the 49ers, against the Rams, against the Chargers, against the Dolphins, those teams have a combined win record of 24-7. These are top teams. When we look at the rest of the schedule ahead of us, we have the Bears, winnable. Jets, definitely winnable. Seahawks, winnable. Vikings, they've been struggling a little bit. It's going to be a tough game. The Vikings have proven to be the team to beat this season, I think, across the NFL, but let's say winnable. Maybe not, but let's. Seahawks again, December 8th, winnable. Patriots, winnable. Panthers, winnable. Rams, shoot, give it to me. Let's win again. 49ers, January 5th. Let's beat them again. Why not? This part of the season, the first half of the season seems to have been the toughest part of our season. The back half, so many wins, so winnable. All we do is win, 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 no matter what. I mean, honestly, that's what I see. I feel like this is going to be an exciting rest of the season. We're going to see plenty more wins to go. Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride each had 100-yard plus receiving performances. Michael Wilson reaching the end zone with a touchdown. You've got to love that. I know my fantasy team did. But the one person who couldn't seem to break out, and that was James Conner. He had 53 yards on 20 carries, and that just goes to show that Miami's secondary, not so great. However, they were able to stop the rush, to their credit. Buda Baker. He had a game-high 12 tackles, one of them for loss, and a pass deflection. This was something to behold and definitely key to this Cardinals win this week. And then we get back to kicker Chad Ryland, replacement kicker. If you were to see a photo of Chad Ryland or look him up right now, he is the most unassuming man. The way that he's won these games, it makes him seem almost like superhuman, like Thor or something like that. Chad Ryland, super unassuming, very wholesome looking. And when you feel the excitement and take in the thrill of the game, he just seems larger than life. On Twitter, our friend Joanna, Cards fans, put out the funniest meme. I will pop it in, but it's basically like this very chiseled man. And she says, "This is how I see Chad Ryland." And girl, I feel the same. So much same, larger than life. Way to go, Chad Ryland, for winning these games. Anyway, that's all I've really got for you today on this Victory Monday. Just kind of wanted to wrap it up, share my excitement, share my thoughts on the number one Arizona Cardinals. And thank you for your support of the show. In the description, you can always find the link to Homage, where you can get game gear for any team, not just the Arizona Cardinals, and also pop culture, fun t-shirts. You know, I've got them on frequently during our podcasts. You can also use code SICKSPORTS if you are a first-time user of DraftKings and get $200 in bonus bets with your first $5 bet using code SICKSPORTS at DraftKings. There is a slew of legal that goes along with that, and I may just pop that in as an edit here at the end of the show. But thank you so much for all of your support, and I will see you later this week with my co-host Charlotte, and we will share the positivity playbook as well as insights going into Sunday, my birthday game against the Chicago Bears. Stay tuned. Take care. See you later this week. Bye. Here's the legal. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Kelly Singh on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.